In this video today, we're going to be talking about professional sport teams who never been to a championship that could potentially win one or play in one. Now, Major League Baseball, we know it's the Seattle Mariners. Sorry about that. We know they're the only team in Major League Baseball has not been to a World Series. Unfortunately, that came up short in the 2025 ALCS after losing to the Blue Jays, which that was a great ALCS though. So Seattle Mariners were a great team this year. I was kind of hoping they make it to the World Series and make it and potentially win a World Series and make history of every ML team's been to the World Series, but unfortunately that did not happen. So maybe it'll happen next year or eventually. Now we're going to get to the NFL. Cleveland Browns. Hell fucking no. They are not winning a fucking Super Bowl anytime soon. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL. Constant, multiple coaching hires one after another. You know the drill. Constant quarterback changes. You already know the drill on that if you've been watching football for 27 years, which I'm 26. I've been watching football since I was like 10. I've known that for 16 years. That the Browns have been doing the same thing over and over and over with coaches, quarterbacks, and players. I could go on and on. But I'm going to say this. The Browns are never going to win a Super Bowl. They're never going to go to one. They're that bad. So let's just face it. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Browns are never going to make it to the Super Bowl. Not in my lifetime. The day that happens of the Browns making the Super Bowl is probably when Jesus Christ returns. It's probably when Jesus returns. Or probably when the next time an asteroid hits Earth is probably when the Browns win a Super Bowl or make one at this point. Now the next team I think is going to win their first Super Bowl and make it. It's the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are one of the best teams in the NFL right now. One of the best in the NFC. Well coached. They're well talented. They came up short 2 seasons ago against the 49ers. A couple seasons back. They came up short. I think the Lions potentially have the chance to make it to their first Super Bowl. And I feel like they could potentially win their first Super Bowl. I think they can do it. So eventually, give it a year, maybe 2 years, tops. The Detroit Lions are eventually going to play in a Super Bowl and probably win the damn thing. So, next team is probably the Houston Texans. I don't think it's going to happen right now. The Houston Texans, I just don't think it's going to happen right now. I mean, they got a bright future under CJ Stroud, and they're trying to potentially build something. I'll give the Texans that. I don't think it's going to happen right now. Maybe 10, 15 years, maybe 10 years. Tops, I think they could probably make a Super Bowl for the Houston Texans. So that's a team I think who could potentially make a Super Bowl in the future. But I don't think they're going to win one right now. They're not in the situation, talent-wise, coach and stuff like that, to win a Super Bowl or play in a Super Bowl. It's just not going to happen right now. So now another team I think who could probably make a Super Bowl. Right now I got 3 teams on the top of my head. Let's see who could be another team. Seahawks, they already been. Chargers don't count. Raiders don't count. Oh, fuck. Sorry for yawning. I'm a dumbass for doing a middle of a video. But I can only think of 3 teams right now. But I think the Detroit Lions are the most likely to make it to their first Super Bowl and most likely win. Now we're getting to the NBA, which I think the Minnesota Timberwolves could be that team to win the NBA Finals. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves have the chance. They came up close last season. I think they're that good. I think the Timberwolves have a chance of playing in the NBA Finals and probably win. Pelicans, I don't think so. There's no way in hell that's going to happen. The team's in horrendous shape. They don't know what they're doing. I don't see the Pelicans making it to the NBA Finals. So, now the Charlotte Hornets, it's very unlikely that they make a Super Bowl anytime. I mean, not Super Bowl. Sorry, NBA Finals anytime soon. The Charlotte Hornets are not making it to the NBA Finals. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA. Talent-wise, they got maybe some talent, not much. You're not going to see the Hornets or the Pelicans make it to the finals. Now, the LA Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers, time after time after time in the previous decade, has had chances to play in the NBA Finals and potentially win a championship. But every time they get in the playoffs, every time they have a super team, a great team, they always blow it in the playoffs. They always choke. And they always come up short in the playoffs. The Clippers, they always choke in the postseason. I mean, they do have a potential shot to reach the NBA Finals and probably win. But at the same time, they keep choking in the playoffs. And in constant playoff meltdowns. And also bad seasons and bad production and injuries kind of shut the Clippers down. So that's another team in the NBA that could make it to the finals in their first time ever in team history. It'll come down to them and the Timberwolves. As for the now another team I almost left out who could probably make it is the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant is the real deal. I think the Timberwolves the Memphis Grizzlies have a chance to probably make it to the finals. Now, winning one, I don't think so. I don't think they can. Now, I like Ja Morant. I think the Grizzlies could potentially make it to the finals. That's the third team in the NBA I could think of who could make the finals. It's Grizzlies, Clippers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's the three NBA teams I think could make it to the finals. So, this is my video on sport teams that could potentially make it to their first championship. Now, I'm not doing hockey because I barely know stuff about hockey. I don't pay attention to hockey well enough and shit like that. So, this is my video. Like and subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you later.